Even if you're relatively new to the king of sports, you've probably come across something like this. Or this. Yes, Antony was an electrifying talent on the pitches in the Netherlands, but soon after his big money move to Man United, he became a source of endless internet memes. How did this Brazilian winger go from being one of the most exciting prospects to the biggest meme in football? Stay till the end to find out. Born in 2000 in the Osasco district of Sao Paulo, Antony grew up like any other Brazilian footballer in the miserable favelas, playing football all the time. His passion for the game was a combination of futsal and street football, and he regularly attended the home games of his favourite club, Sao Paulo. Well, it seems that his love for the club had somehow manifested itself into the interest of Sao Paulo scouts, who invited him to join their academy in 2010. Initially, he showed his quality, but didn't fully convince the staff that he deserved to be a long-term asset for the club. And although he had dips in his form and a lack of discipline, his talent was evident, and the managers decided to give him his long-term academy contract. Next, after 8 years of working his way through the youth ranks, he made his senior debut in 2018. His first few seasons at the highest level of Brazilian football were filled with more flair, dribbling, incredible speed, and showboating than goals and effective play. But Antony had been like this since the very beginning of his career, so it somehow was understandable. It was also around this time that he invented the now infamous Antony spin. Yes, that 360-degree pirouette that became his calling card, a move that either confused defenders or left fans scratching their heads wondering, but why? Why is he doing that? Yes, and we're still asking ourselves if this move gives Antony any advantage, but let's leave that for later. A year on, Antony finally came into his own, contributing 4 goals and 6 assists in 29 games, which was convincing enough for a 19-year-old, but looking at his stats, we can also see that he was quite rough on the pitch, being booked with 3 yellow and 1 red cards in the 2019 season. So after more than 10 years at Sao Paulo, preparing for his next big break on the world stage, Antony caught the eye of the scouts from Ajax, the most successful club in the Netherlands. They signed him in the winter of 2020 for around 20 million euros. Initially, his biggest competitor for a starting spot was meme legend, a man who definitely knew how to spend his time properly in Amsterdam, David Neres.
How are you? I'm very good.
However, his compatriot's best period was already in the past after that magical 2018-19 season when Neres scored at the Santiago Bernabéu and reached the Champions League semi-finals with Ajax. That gave Antony more playing time, which allowed him to really show his potential under Erik ten Hag. 24 goals and 22 assists in all competitions in 2 seasons, together with 2 Eredivisie titles and a Dutch Cup. That was definitely a respectable achievement for the 22-year-old. In the meantime, Antony developed another trademark skill, the long post finish. That's right, almost every goal he scored after joining Ajax came from cutting in and curling the ball at the far post. Predictable? Maybe. Effective? Definitely. It worked so well you could have sworn he had GPS in his left foot, and, well, he must have watched a few clips of Robben because the similarity between the two techniques is obvious. After dazzling the Ajax faithful and, of course, spinning his way through the Eredivisie, Antony made his big move to Man United in late August 2022 at the request of the then-new manager Ten Hag. The Red Devils paid a staggering £85 million, a fee that seemed unnecessarily high for a player who had only played 1 season at the highest level. And in the end, everyone was right about the Dutch specialist's rash decision. Contrary to initial expectations, he wouldn't have been able to keep his composure playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Antony's first few months were relatively positive, as he did what he does best, scoring screamers and hitting the long post finish as if it were a FIFA move he'd perfected. The best examples were the goal against Arsenal on his debut, which won him Man United's Goal of the Month award, and the outside-of-the-box banger against Manchester City in the humiliating 6-3 loss at the Etihad. Then came the stunning strike against Barcelona in the Europa League playoff round, where Antony's curling effort helped United through. Up to that point, the Brazilian's career at Old Trafford had had its ups and downs, but it's safe to say that he had already established himself as a starter, and great things were expected of him from then on. And here comes the big question, where did it all go wrong? Well, the first harsh moment of controversy that hit Antony's reputation and mentality were when his wife made allegations of domestic abuse against him. This turned into a full-blown investigation and cast a dark shadow over his on-field antics. While the club stood by him through the allegations, it left fans divided, wondering if Antony's off-field drama was becoming a bigger story than his football. Despite the rollercoaster season, Antony showed glimpses of potential, but by this point the doubts were far greater than the high expectations, and his poor finish to the season added to the overall negative profile. After the Barca banger at the end of February, Antony managed just 2 goals and 2 assists in 17 appearances in all competitions, and he wasn't even included in the squad for the FA Cup final against Man City, which turned out to be Man United's game of the season. His poor form, antics and off-field controversies gave plenty of fuel to those who dubbed him a meme, especially when his trademark moves didn't always translate into consistent success at Old Trafford. Speaking of his favourite moves, there has been plenty of talk from pundits and experts on the subject. Firstly, what exactly is the Antony spin, and how does it really work? To put it simply, the Brazilian loves to collect the ball at his feet and, a few meters away from the defender, control it with his left boot. He then keeps the ball on his foot and spins in a 360-degree and sometimes 720 circle on the spot. His favourite move after that is to play a sharp pass into the open space for a teammate, but it doesn't always result in anything effective. After that very occasion when Antony failed to give an accurate pass in the Europa League game against Sheriff Tiraspol, he was criticised for his showboating, but he answered the haters that his skill was art. Ten Hag also had a hand in this, and he was quick to defend his long-serving players, saying, "I don't have a problem with tricks as long as they work. If there's a trick like that, it's nice as long as it's functional. If you don't lose the ball, then it's okay, but if it's a trick because of a trick, then I'll correct it." Now, Mr. Ten Hag, can you please show us a time when Antony did something effective with this trick? On the other hand, there was also that time when Neymar, yes, Neymar himself, backed up his compatriot by posting the following on social media. "Keep it up, don't change anything. Go for it, boy. Boldness and joy." We can't help but mention that this case is a little reminiscent of the time when Vini Jr. was racially abused on the pitches in Spain for dancing after his goals, but many Brazilian legends united under the slogan Baila Vini or Dance Vini. However, the Real Madrid footballer never really understood that it was never his dancing and celebration that caused the hostility of the fans, but his mentality and antics. In this context, both Vini and Antony are controversial and irritating, but one will soon win the Ballon d'Or, while the other may have to settle for the biggest football meme in history award. Yes, indeed, Antony is now more recognisable as a meme than as a footballer, and the jokes like Antony has 50 appearances and 50 games in 50 matches in 2024 never gets old. With that being said, we come to the end of today's upload. Surely, Antony's story has taught us that a stupid mistake, garnished with an unlikable and cocky attitude, can completely change people's opinions. And in situations like that, if you don't have the strong mentality to turn your back on criticism, you're finished. On the other hand, at the moment, it really does look like Antony is more out than in at Old Trafford, which raises many questions about the future of his career. If you enjoyed that one, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and give your full support by voicing your opinion on this controversial topic. Catch you in the next one.